Boom, we are live. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to yet another episode of the MMA Show. Thank you so much for tuning in. I truly appreciate you guys. And remember, if you are enjoying your time here, please make sure to leave a like, leave a comment, and remember to subscribe if you want to. I would truly appreciate it. Go down in the comments, man. Tell me how you really feel, especially after some good fights, man, back to back. We had 2 weekends back to back. I'm not going to go into too much the previous weekend, but it was the UFC, the DP, and Justin Gaethje fight that obviously ended with a knockout by your boy Justin Gaethje. Perfect knockout. I'm sure you've seen the similarities, but just the exact same knockout as Leon Edwards versus Usman, which was just perfect. Maybe his coach, Whitman, just wanted to, kind of emulate that a little bit. And, hopefully he's working like that with Kamaru. Because Kamaru, he, I don't know, is he fighting soon? I don't think he has anything booked yet. But good win for Justin Gaethje, man. Definitely deserves it. Got the BMF title. It's awkward what he's going to do next because I think he has to wait for Charles Oliveira versus Islam. I heard some rumors there deep in the internet that Charles might not be fighting Islam next. That I don't know if he's injured or something. I don't know what's up, but I heard some rumblings that that fight might not happen. So if that's the case, then, obviously I don't see why you couldn't do Justin Gaethje versus Islam Makhachev. But obviously only time will tell. Only time will tell. We're going to have to just wait and see what happens there. Either way, though, either of those fights are great. Either Justin Gaethje versus Islam or the rematch with Charles Oliveira. I mean, both of those are really good fights that, they're going to sell out no matter what. And then we had this weekend, obviously, the Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz fight. And then we had some UFC fights that I'll talk about for sure. The UFC, it was a fight night, so it wasn't too exciting like the prelims and stuff like that. But we did have some good main and co-main event, bro. What's her name? Tatiana Suarez defeated Jessica Andrade. That's a great accomplishment. Great for her. Jessica Andrade is no punk. I think she's former champion for sure. Beat Rose Namajunas and, has a great record. So Tatiana, for her to come, is she Mexican? She has to be Mexican. She's listed as USA, but she's probably Mexican descent. No punk, man. She's a great fighter. And I think, defeating Jessica Andrade, I think that kind of puts you right there for the title, and I think Zhang Weili is the current champion for that division. So that's a great fight, man. Zhang Weili is just such a badass, bro. She fights like a dude. She'll probably fuck up most of, bantamweight and featherweight dudes, not gonna lie. But that's gonna be an interesting match. Like, I'm a huge fan of Zhang Weili. I think she's the best women's fighter right now. I think they have Alexa Grasso as a pound for pound, but let me check real quick. Rankings, women's. Zhang Weili, Alexa Grasso is a pound for pound after Amanda retired because she defeated Nunez. So they have Alexa Grasso, Shevchenko, and then Zhang Weili is number 3. Ranked number 3. In my opinion, she's number 1, though. And I'm a huge fan of Valentina. Obviously, she lost. I think it was Amanda, Valentina, and then maybe Zhang Weili. But I think pound for pound, bro, Weili is just a little savage, bro. She's just really good. She fights hard. She hits hard. She's very smart. She has a great fight IQ. Obviously, I think the only knock on her is that she got knocked out by Rose Namajunas with the head kick, which was, perfect. But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be super interesting. I think that's the fight that's going to happen next is Zhang Weili versus that Tatiana chick. Hopefully we get like a rematch between Alexa Grasso and Shevchenko. Oh, yeah, I think they've already announced that. I don't know exactly when that is. But anyways, the main event was really cool. It was my boy, Corey Sandhagen, versus Rob Font. It was an interesting fight. It was, it went to decision, which I don't love. I don't love for Corey. Okay, I'm not a casual that just wants to see knockouts all the time. Like I'm able to appreciate a good whole 5 round fight if it's technical. If if it goes to decision and it was highly technical, then that's great. That's perfect. In this case, though, Corey Sandhagen, I think really has to, if he really wants to take or be next in line for a title shot, I think he has to like wow Dana White and the world really. Like if you just win decision here and there, and then you have a couple of losses against some top guys like Sterling, who's the current champ, T.J. Dillashaw, Peter Yan, you have those losses, and then you face Rob Font, who's not in the top 5. I think he's top 7. I think he's ranked number 7. And then you're supposed to. It was a late notice too for Rob Font because Corey was supposed to fight Umar, right? So super late notice, step in the ring. I don't know. I think you're kind of expected to starch this dude. You're kind of expected to knock this dude out, especially with the tools that Corey Sandhagen has. Now we all know, crazy kicks, flying knees, some spinning shit. So I was expecting a little bit more of that from Corey. It's a little bit more action packed, a little more threatened with the strikes, and just looking to get a finish with either a head kick or something like that, man. But overall, he got the dub, and that's what matters. But it kind of makes you wonder, like, is the dub enough to be put at a next title? In the title talks. He still, I think, wants to fight Umar, which why? I think you should be looking a little bit ahead. That fight didn't happen now. Great. Maybe it's going to happen in the future. But focus, on the top guys, man. I think wait for Sterling and O'Malley, and then see what happens there. Maybe if O'Malley loses, maybe Corey will be next in line for a rematch against Sterling. I think that would be great. If Sterling loses and O'Malley wins, then maybe they'll do a rematch with Sterling. And then if, Sterling loses again, I would love, and I've been calling for this for years, bro. Years. Actually, if you probably listened to one of my first couple of episodes, you've probably heard me say this, that a dream fight I want to watch is O'Malley versus Corey Sandhagen. That, to me, is going to be a striking clinic. Like, both of those guys are just flashy, perfect strikes, and I'm excited. I think it's going to happen. I mean, obviously it's going to happen sooner rather than later. I just hope, it's not too long. But regardless, shout out to Corey. He's one of my favorite fighters, man. I love guys like that. I love guys that are just have a lot of tools to win, right? And Corey obviously has a lot of tools. His wrestling might not be top tier, but he improved a lot. I think this camp probably he was doing a lot of wrestling because he was training for Umar, who it's a Dagestani savage. I think he's from Dagestan, right? I'm just gonna assume. So he did a lot of wrestling for that. Wrestling was not his forte, as we saw. He had that fight with Aljo, who got choked out in the first round, I think. And then he had the fight with TJ, who TJ just kind of, that fight was really close. It was a split, I think it was a split decision, but it was really close. I gave it to Corey, but obviously TJ took the dub. However, it makes you wonder if Corey would have just worked on his wrestling a little more and not give up his back as easy, he probably would have won that fight because a lot of the points went to TJ because he was on his back a lot, controlling. And TJ had one leg, bro. He was fucked. But either way, that's all news, I don't really know what's going on with TJ. I don't know, he got injured really bad after the Aljo fight, so maybe he can do a rematch with Corey. That would be pretty good, too. I would watch that. Both of those guys just went at it hard, but I don't know, man. TJ, I think he's not in a good shape. I think he's really injured. Sorry about that. Yeah, and then obviously we had the boxing match with Jakey in 1880. I'm gonna say though, it was a good fight. I didn't know what to expect. Like Some people were saying that it was probably going to be a boring fight. Some people were saying that fucking Nate was going to get knocked out in the first round. Shit like that. And I think that the fight was pretty good. I think it was entertaining. I think it served its purpose, to which is to entertain, right? That's why, you know, fighting is fighting. UFC obviously it's its own thing, but at the end of the day, man, all of this, what it is entertaining, and it's entertainment, and a lot of the time that's what you can have two of the best go in there, but if the fight's boring and it's not entertaining, then fuck them, right? But regardless, I thought this fight was really entertaining. Definitely, I would watch it again. Nate Diaz. I don't know, bro. Nate Diaz, I think he had the tools to win. Definitely could have taken the one, but I don't know. Maybe he just doesn't want to win or something. Because, he got starched the first round. He almost fucking got finished the first round. And then he was landing some good punches, bro. Some good combos. The thing with Nate is that, he doesn't really have power. And power is not something I think you can just train and develop. He did exactly what he is good at and what he's known at, which is volume, hitting you, but with volume, with a lot of punches, not crazy heavy punches, but volume to wear you out. And he did that. If he would have done it probably a little bit more, I think Jake, would have been more overwhelmed. However, I think at this point, Jake can only, if he keeps fighting the route of the UFC guys, right, and retired people and people that are over 40 years old, no one is going to beat him that doesn't have knockout power. I think he's going to outbox every single retired MMA guy. And that's just the real of it, right? But if he goes the other route, which is obviously the professional boxing, fighting guys like Tommy Fury, or, even Tommy Fury to me was not a good opponent. I think he needs someone that's even a little bit more ranked than him, with a little bit more years of experience. And I mean, it's good that he fought Tommy. And now that he fought Tommy, he can probably move on to other guys. But if he takes that route, then the way to beat him, then it could be either by knockout or it could be either by, outboxing him. But if he keeps going this route of retired MMA fighters, we need someone that actually has KO power with the right or the left, So far, we haven't seen that. Obviously, Ben Askren sure as hell did not have knockout power. Tyron Woodley, that was probably the best, the closest Jake's been to being knocked down probably was Tyron Woodley. But still, Woodley was not known for, putting guys to sleep. Anderson Silva was not known for putting guys to sleep with his hands at least, but he was obviously, a GOAT. And Nate Diaz, never known for putting guys to sleep with a hand. So, he has to fight. If he's going to keep going this route, the only way he's going to lose against a retired MMA guy is if he fights someone that has knockout power. I think he's going to absolutely outbox every single, hate to say it, but late 30s, 40-year-old guy. And I'm not hating on Jake Paul, I think we're past that. I think we're way past that. I think the dude has proved himself. I think the dude has actually, desired to do this. But, it gets a little bit annoying for me when they say shit like, want to be world champion. And fuck, bro, you're not going to be boxing world champion. That's just the truth. I will stand by that. I will bet my bottom dollar that Jake Paul will never be boxing world champion. And I'm not hating. I'm not even hating, bro. I'm not even hating. It sounds like I am, but he should definitely take this route of fighting MMA guys. And it's entertaining. The Woodley fights were entertaining. The Anderson Silva fight was super entertaining. And this Nate Diaz fight was hella entertaining, bro. You know which fight was not entertaining? The Tommy Fury one as much. You know which fight was not going to be entertaining at all? The Hasim Rahman Jr. fight, So it's a give or take situation, right? Do you want to fight the biggest names? But, that implies fighting people that are older and retired. And you're never going to achieve a world championship with that, You could beat fucking Israel Adesanya in boxing, and that's not going to give you a boxing world championship. So I think he has to decide, right, which way to go, because he cannot keep fighting Nate Diaz and stuff like that and say he's gonna be boxing world champion, because he's not. He's really not. I mean, boxers, bro, they spend years going through the rank. They fight since they're fucking 8 years old, bro. And they go through the fucking ranks, they fucking crawl through the mud, and then they maybe get a world championship opportunity, right? Jake is not gonna do that, bro. He's not. He hasn't fought anybody ranked, right? He's not gonna just skip the line and fight Canelo or someone like that. So that's not gonna happen. So I don't know why he keeps saying that. I don't know why he keeps pushing that. That's just kind of, I feel like you're finally gaining some people's respect and finally gaining some of the fight community respect. And then you say shit like that, bro. You say shit that you want to, fucking be world champion. I think that's unrealistic. Like I said, I mean, it's not unrealistic. It could happen, but you have to decide which route to take, right? You have to decide of taking opponents with smaller names, not as much clout, that are still active, younger, ranked in boxing, or you're going to keep fighting retired MMA guys, Either way, I think it's going to be tough, obviously. But obviously this way, the retired MMA guys might have more money, obviously more pay-per-views and shit like that, right? Because I couldn't tell you who the fuck is ranked, number 10 or number 5 in the WBO or IBF, welterweight class or middleweight class. I have no fucking clue. And I'm sure majority of Jake's fan base don't know that either, right? But they know who Nate Diaz is. They know who Anderson Silva is. They know who Conor McGregor is, right? So those fights, that route, it just makes more sense, bro. And the main thing, and this is how you know I'm not hating, bro. The main thing is that I don't think Jake Paul has nothing to fucking prove. Like, why do you want to be a boxing world champion so bad, Shit, I want to be a boxing world champion, bro, but I'm realistic, I know I didn't box. I did some boxing when I was younger, but I just never stuck with it. But obviously, I think every man at a point in his life have a dream or some sort of, let's just say dream that, oh my God, being world champion. Like, imagine being Mike Tyson, bro. Imagine being 19 years old and being the heavyweight champion of the world. And people are calling you the baddest man on earth. Like, bro, that feeling, it's a feeling that almost no one ever is going to get, right? You need someone like a Mike Tyson, someone like a Ali, something like that, right? It's special. And those guys start from a very, very young age, and they're disciplined, and they go through the mud, bro. You don't think Mike Tyson had some fucking fights with 0 viewers or like, at a bullshit fucking casino somewhere when he was like 15, 14? Obviously he had those, right? So for Jake Paul to say that he's going to be a world champion, bro, I don't know. It's just not realistic, in my opinion. He has to start now. He has to start fighting. He has to pick a weight class, and then he has to start fighting ranked opponents. That's the only way he's going to get that. He keeps calling out Canelo, bro. Like, I think he's way past that, bro. Why are you calling out Canelo? First of all, Canelo, it's not even the top. He's not even the pound for pound number 1 anymore. I think it's Terrence Crawford. Canelo was, I think, the number 1 pound for pound, so it kind of makes sense to call him out. But he's not anymore. He's still world champion, and he's still one of the fucking best to ever do it. But I don't know why he's calling out Canelo, bro. That's not going to happen. He's not going to jump the queue. The only way Canelo fights Jake Paul is once Canelo retires, and it could be an exhibition match, which that is not going to give you a world championship status, right? It's going to be some Mayweather shit where he's retired, the fights are exhibition, they're not for any belts. Obviously, they still make all the fucking money in the goddamn fucking world, but it's not for a belt. So, again, Jake Paul has to choose, bro. He's just, I feel he has too many lanes that he could go to, like, right? And now he's talking about doing MMA. Like, bro, people spend their entire lives fucking perfecting a craft, whether it's MMA, whether it is jiu-jitsu, whether it is boxing, right? People spend 20, 30 years and they never even fucking smell a championship belt, bro. And you want to do all this shit. I mean, that's what makes me want to just not like him again, bro. That he talks out of his ass. He over promises, right? He's saying, yeah, I'm gonna be world champion in boxing. I'm gonna go to MMA, right? I'm gonna fight all these people, fight Canelo. Bro, pick a lane. I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm just saying it's gonna fucking take forever, right? If you really wanna be a boxing world champion, legit, not just skip the queue, fight Canelo, maybe hoping you beat him and then somehow you win the belt. That shit doesn't happen, bro. That shit doesn't happen. I mean, it happened in Rocky fucking 1, right? Where Rocky was a nobody. He had, some bullshit amateur fights. And out of nowhere, the world champion, just is looking for an opponent and says, oh, how about this guy, Rocky? That doesn't fucking happen, my guy, bro. That doesn't happen. You're not going to skip the queue. And if that does happen, if for whatever reason Canelo says, yeah, I'll fight Jake Paul for my belts, that's not going to give you the respect because he didn't go through the ranks. You didn't go through the ranks. I'll give you that. And I've said this before. Whether you want to be a champion in MMA or in boxing, take some ranked fights. And I also said this before. Dana White, give me my 10%. Because if I was Dana White, I would, level with Jake Paul. And I'll say, okay, I'll tell you what. You obviously have a huge name, right? And the UFC is known for, if a guy has a big cloud, they kind of boost him up a little bit. So if I'm Dana White, I make this offer to Jake Paul. I say, all right, train MMA for a year. Take it seriously. Every day in the gym, the wrestling, the jiu-jitsu, do kicks. Take it seriously. I'll give you an opportunity in the Dana White Contender Series, right? If he wins that, he gets 2 top 15 opponents, and then you can talk about a championship. That's the only way. That's the only way Jake Paul can get boosted to a championship, right? Obviously, he has to win. So that's my opinion, right? 3 fights, and then possibly a championship fight, right? The same shit should be with boxing. Let's say, so I don't know who the fuck even runs this boxing organizations, like who runs WBO, but they should go to Jake because he does have the money and he does have the eyeballs, right? So I don't know why they don't do this. They can help each other out. They can go to Jake, whether it's Dana White or whether it's some guy in boxing and say, okay, win 3 ranked fights and you get a title shot. That's the only way Jake can even dream of a title shot, because other than that, he's fucked. You're gonna say, well, isn't that also a shortcut and skipping the line? Kinda. But at least he's not going straight to the top, right? At least he's not calling out Canelo, hoping Canelo says, yeah, let's do it, right? Which is not gonna give him the respect. He has to win some ranked opponents, no doubt at all. Because then what he's gonna do? Let's say magically Canelo says, yeah, let's fight. And then magically, the odds are in his favor and magically just lands that one punch that puts Canelo out, right? Canelo has an off night. Canelo didn't take him seriously. Canelo's getting older. Canelo, is slower. Jake Paul is motivated. He has nothing to lose. He lands that one goddamn hook that puts Canelo down. Imagine for a second, right? And he's world champion. What's next? Are you going to defend the title against the number 2 guy, the number 3 guy, the number 4 or 5 guy? No, you're not. You just won the title for 15 seconds to say that you were world champion, and then you're going to toss it. You don't give a fuck about no fucking boxing world champion. You're not going to defend it, bro. So that's one route. I know I'm kind of going a lot right here, guys, but that's one route, right? You can take that one route of, if I was these organizations, that's what I would do. I would say, okay, win me 3 ranked fights, and then we'll give you a title shot. That's not skipping the line. Well, it kind of is, but also I think he kind of deserves that kind of boost. Let's not call it a skipping line. Let's call it a little boost. Because of who he is and his massive fan base. And whether it is UFC or boxing, wherever he goes, he will bring massive eyeballs, massive pay-per-views, and it's a win-win for everybody, bro. I don't know why Dana White hasn't thought of this. Dana White's talking all this shit to Jake Paul and shit like that. Make him an offer, bro. Make him a goddamn offer. Make him put his money where his mouth is, bro. Make him do that. And I think that's a fair deal. I mean, you did it with Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira won 3 fights and then got a title shot because there was an interest there, because the eyeballs were in the storyline of him versus Izzy, right? I don't know, bro. It's just, it's a lot. Dana White needs to give me 10%, though. That's all I know, because I just came up with a master plan. But Jake Paul, man, he's entertaining. I will say that, and I will say that, in his early days, I was saying like, oh, fuck this guy, YouTuber. Yeah, the same shit that everybody said, right? YouTuber guy, Disney guy, is not a real fighter. We're past that. We're way past that. So if you're still saying that, if you're still a legit fighting, channel or news organization or whatever, ESPN analyst or whatever, and you're still saying, oh, this guy's a YouTuber, you're fired. Because he's not. He's not. He's a real fighter. He's young. He's motivated. He trains hard. He takes it seriously. And that's a dangerous guy. That's a dangerous guy. And that's why to me, Jake Paul even is at a higher level than even his brother, than KSI. KSI is fighting all YouTubers. Logan Paul, he fought Mayweather, but still, more of like a joke. But Jake Paul is actually fighting real fighters and has fought real boxers, has tried to fight other real boxers, right? So, I don't see Mayweather calling out not Mayweather, no, sorry. I don't see Logan calling out any real boxer. At least he calls out Paddy Pimblett. Like, I don't know, bro. Like, to me, it just makes no sense. Like, why? Why? Now, one boxing fight I would watch, just, again, for purely entertainment purposes is Logan Paul versus Bradley Martin. I think that's actually a good fight that could happen, because Bradley's athletic and he's strong. If he actually applies himself, maybe, let's say, 6 months in the gym, in boxing gym, just fucking doing drills, hitting mats, sparring, dude, I think he has a chance against Logan Paul. I'll say that. I don't think Logan Paul is a good boxer at all. I think his size gives him an advantage against someone like Mayweather, but I don't think he's a good fighter at all. However, he's doing WWE, so like, why? Bro, he's making probably bags from WWE, from Prime, from YouTube. Like, bro, how much do you fucking need, bro? How much do you need, brother? Do you really want to make all these bags from all these places and then say, yeah, let me pause everything, take 3-4 months off to train for a boxing fight? Why? I mean, and that's why, in the first place, that's why I respect both of them, or at least more Jake Paul, because he actually took a pause from the vlogging shit, and all of the other shit he was doing. Now, he's actually kind of like, I don't want to say kind of, but he's literally a full-time fighter now, I would say. He obviously has other businesses like any other people do. He has his fight promotion, podcast, whatever, right? Other fighters have that too. But it's a matter of being in other lanes, right? So obviously Logan Paul is in WWE. Jake Paul is not. He has been purely in boxing. So he's a full-time fighter, bro. And fuck you if you want to say that WWE is a fighter. That because of Logan Paul being in WWE, he's a fighter. He's not. He's a pro wrestler. Now, what's next for these two gentlemen, right? For Jake Paul and for Nate Diaz. Obviously, the idea was thrown around to do MMA. I think in the PFL, since Jake Paul is signed to the PFL, I don't think they would do it in UFC. Why not? I don't fucking know. Again, Dana White hates money. Like, I get it. You're trying to protect your brand from, like, bullshit fights, right? But then you actually entertain the idea of Mark Zuckerberg versus fucking Elon Musk. Like, okay, Dana, you want to give the opportunity to Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk to fight, who have never had a professional fight ever, but you would probably say no. And I don't know, because it was never brought up. Why doesn't Dana White make an offer to Jake Paul and Nate Diaz? Yeah, fight in one of my events, right? Let's rack up this fucking pay-per-view money and we all get paid, bro. Again, fucking think. Like, I don't know, bro. Like, I get it. There's contracts and shit like that, but like, okay, but you entertained the Suck and Musk fight. You also entertained fucking CM Punk back in the day. So, like, what the fuck, bro? Right? You had people like Ronda Rousey. You had people like Brock Lesnar, who came over from WWE. Well, Rousey was the other way around. Sorry, don't hate on me. But Brock Lesnar, you know, why not fucking do Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz in a UFC main event? I don't fucking get it. It will fucking sell out the arena. It would do all the pay-per-views. You would make hella bank. I don't get it. I just really don't. But, well, most likely it'll be in the PFL. Thank God that Nate Diaz is a free agent. Now, I have a theory. Stick with me here. I have a theory, right? Nate Diaz versus Jake Paul, MMA, PFL, right? PFL. Conor is going to see that. He's going to say, ooh, I want a piece of that. There's going to be some massive funding for the PFL. They're going to grow. They're going to have so much money after that fight that they might be able to make a one-time offer to Conor and have the trilogy at PFL. And Dana White will fucking, I don't know, he'd probably die, honestly, or some shit. He'd probably die of anger. Imagine, bro. And Conor, you might say, well, there's contracts. Yeah, right. Like, Conor's not past contracts and past USADA. And Conor does whatever the fuck he wants, bro. He fought Floyd Mayweather while in a UFC contract. Obviously, Dana allowed it. I'm sure he can find a way around it, bro. He's got all the goddamn money in the world. Even if Dana White sues him, like, okay, how much? Here you go. Boom. Right? Am I crazy, bro? Am I fucking crazy to think that Nate Diaz versus Jake Paul is going to do massive numbers in MMA in the PFL? They're going to get some great funding, and then the PFL, maybe with some of Jake Paul influence too, they're going to have some money to give Conor an offer. How much does Conor want for a rematch, huh? 10 mil? 15, 20? I think Conor in the UFC, you know, obviously he's not making 100 mil like fighting Mayweather, but could make 10, 15, 20 mil. I think that's what the UFC gives him, you know, when he fought like DP and Cowboy and shit like that. Couldn't the PFL put that together? I mean, that's the offer that Jake Paul gave to Nate, 10 mil. Okay. Boost it up a little bit by like 5, 7 mil, you know. Give Conor an offer. Fucking break the internet. Fucking make history. Come on, bro. Do you guys hate money? Why am I the one coming up with this massive multi-billion-dollar ideas, bro? Why am I the one? Okay, well, I'm partially joking, but I mean, think about it. It could happen. Why not? Why the fuck not? I don't think Dana White, and the only reason why I thought of this is because I don't think Dana White wants Nate Diaz back in the UFC. Because Nate Diaz always said, like, yeah, I'm going to go back to the UFC and shit like that. But I think Dana, like, said, like, nah, fuck this guy. Okay, well, you can't have an MMA fight. So that puts the trilogy with Conor out the window in the UFC. But not in the PFL. Welcome to the dark side. Imagine, bro. I'm just saying, imagine. And I don't hate Dana, but I do think he's greedy and petty. You know, I love Dana for, you know, building this fucking huge, amazing sport that we all love, and I you know, my favorite sport. But I do think he's hella greedy, and I do think he's hella petty. So it will be nice to kind of see him, suffer a little bit with that. If his biggest star, Connor, fucking jumps ship, goes to PFL, and signs a massive deal to fight Nate Diaz's trilogy fight in the PFL. I don't know, bro. And then, then Jake Paul is right there, I mean, the PFL, bro, if they play this right, they have a great opportunity. They have Francis Ngannou. They have Jake Paul. Soon they could have Nate Diaz. That could bring the McGregor trilogy. Yep, I'm sure nobody thought of that. Am I crazy for thinking that? Like, I don't know, bro. I think, the UFC could really drop the ball on this one just for greediness and for, like I said, Dana White just being a little bit petty. And we all know, yeah, you might say, well, no, Conor McGregor's under contract. Yeah, right. Like, he gives a fuck. Like, he gives a fuck about contracts or USADAs or fucking buzz windows. He don't give no fucks. He could fucking jump ship whenever the fuck he wants, bro, I feel like. So, I don't know. It's a good idea. But the PFL has great cards on their hand right now. They have to play them right. They have some massive names. Like I said, they have Francis, Jake, maybe Nate. They could bring over like a couple more UFC guys, and then they're in a great spot to compete with, the UFC, which is it's the biggest, at least in the USA, because if you guys didn't know, actually, one championship is bigger than the UFC internationally. But in the US, which is obviously the biggest market, UFC is the best. I'm just throwing ideas out there, brother. I'm just throwing ideas out there. I feel like it's very interesting time for fighting. I think boxing is making kind of like a comeback. I mean, two back-to-back great weekends of fighting. We had the Ryan fight, and then we're going to have the Ngannou fight. So that's like 4 major fights in, just a couple of months. I think that's great. I think before that, boxing never had this much action in this amount of time. 2023 was a good year for boxing. Not going to lie, though, kind of, Jake Paul played his part in that for sure. He did say earlier in his boxing career that he wanted to just bring the eyeballs back because boxing was dead or whatever. He did some of that, but I mean, Crawford versus Spence, that was just, a fight that was long overdue. Ryan versus Gervonta, just 2 guys, young guys in their prime, with massive following. So that was, it was what it was. And then you're going to have, obviously, in a couple of weeks, I don't know when it is, Francis versus, it's in October? I don't know, but it's Francis versus Fury. That's going to be a great fight, too. And then you had Joshua, who was going to fight Dylan White. I don't follow boxing as much, but I follow, like, the bigger names like Fury. Fury is one of my favorite fighters. And then I know Joshua was going to fight Dylan White. I don't know if they're still going to fight, but there's a lot of good people in the mix. Obviously, you still have Canelo there. Ryan's still there. Kind of interested to see what happens. You had David Haney, great fighter. That fight against Lomachenko was a great fight. A lot of people thought Lomachenko won. I don't know. I have to go back and rewatch it. I didn't really fully watch the entire fight, but I always been a great fan of Lomachenko ever since he was little because of his footwork. He's just an amazing fucking skilled guy with feet. And he puts people to sleep. He does like a thing where he like turns to the side where almost like he's side you. He's not in front of you. He's almost like he lets you step in and then he kind of just turns and then just pop, hits the hook and you're out cold. So yeah, really, really interesting times for fighting, bro. And I'm going to be here to cover it. So stay tuned. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate you for tuning in. Remember, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and leave a comment. Let me tell you how you feel. Tell me how you feel. Do you agree with anything I just said? Do you think, my crazy theories are fucking insane and I'm a fucking nut job? Or do you think I'm actually making some sense? Do you think that I deserve a matchmaking seat at the UFC? I'm just kidding. By the way, I did do the UFC thing. They put out a thing where like you could build your dream card, and then I guess if it was like good enough, they would like give you not an opportunity to work there, but at least like an experience to go and go to the UFC and kind of I don't know what it was. I think it was just to visit, or it could have been maybe like a opportunity to actually do some matchmaking. But I went in there, I did some shit. I don't even remember what my main card was. It was I know my main event. It was Charles Oliveira versus Conor McGregor. That was my main event. They didn't allow to do catch weight though, or move across, because I was gonna do. I was gonna do. I think Volkanovski, either versus. Fuck, I don't remember. I wanted to do. I wanted to do Hamza versus Alex Pereira, but the way they're ranked right now, they're in different weight classes. Not right now. Alex actually is now, and and he moved up. So now probably I could do it. But before, when I did it, they were in different weight classes, so I couldn't do it. So I was like, man, you're doing a matchmaking thing, but you're not allowing one weight class jump. At least allow that. Obviously you're not gonna do Francis Ngannou or John Jones versus fucking some lightweight or some shit like that. But at least allow a lightweight with the middleweight or some shit like that. I mean, I feel like that makes sense. Or sorry, maybe like a lightweight with like a featherweight or something. But I don't know. They haven't really emailed me back. So what's up, Dana? Still waiting for that response, bro. I'm kidding. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Again, remember, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, and up until the next one.